It's 11:45 p.m. You're sitting on the couch, wide awake. You told your teenage son to be home by 10:30 p.m., but he still isn't home. You sent him a few text messages and he's read them, but he hasn't replied. He also ignored your calls. So the next day, you say to him, "You're grounded for 2 weeks." He looks at you, shrugs, and says, "Whatever." No apology, no remorse, and no change in behavior. If something like this has happened to you before, you're not a bad parent. You're dealing with a teenager who has started to ignore consequences. But here's the surprising truth. It's not because they don't care. It's because most consequences aren't teaching them anything. In this video, I'll explain the 8 proven strategies that actually work when your teen ignores consequences. By the end of the video, you'll know how to guide your teen toward responsibility without power struggles and without needing to use punishments. Here's the first strategy I encourage you to use. Show empathy first, not anger. Imagine this situation. Your teenage daughter snaps at you during dinner. Later, you find out that she failed a history test and got into a big argument with a friend earlier that same day. If you go straight into lecturing or discipline mode, you miss the full picture. Teens don't always say, "I'm feeling overwhelmed," or "I feel left out." Instead, they roll their eyes or lash out. So instead of reacting by saying, "Why are you being rude?" try saying something like this. "You don't usually talk to me like that. Is something bothering you today?" That one shift from correction to curiosity can open a door. It shows your teen that you're not just reacting to their behavior. You're trying to understand what's going on at a deeper level. Clinical psychologist Dr. Lisa Damore explains that emotional outbursts in teens are often caused by various kinds of stress. When parents respond with empathy, it helps teens to manage their emotions more effectively. So here's what to do. If your teen seems defiant, start with curiosity, not correction or control. I'm Daniel Wong. I'm a teen coach and I specialize in helping teens to thrive. Now let's talk about strategy number 2. Set ultra-clear expectations. Have you ever said something like this to your teen before? "Don't come home too late." Several hours later, at midnight, your teen strolls into the house and says, "You didn't say what time was too late." Teens aren't trying to be lawyers, but they'll interpret vague rules to their advantage. So instead of saying, "Don't make too much noise late at night," try saying this. "After 10 p.m., please keep the noise levels low enough so your siblings can sleep." It might feel like you're being overly specific, but that clarity gives your teen structure and prevents future arguments. If needed, put the expectations down in writing. For example, a simple document you put on the fridge door can serve as a good reminder. This is especially helpful if your teen tends to frequently forget the rules. Strategy number 3. Be consistent every single time. If you don't follow through on what you said you would do, your teen will realize that your rules aren't really rules. They're just preferences. Imagine if a referee in a game only called fouls half the time. Eventually, the players would stop playing by the rules altogether. So teens may complain about rules. But deep down, as long as the rules are reasonable, the structure actually makes them feel safer. Even if it's inconvenient, calmly enforce the boundaries every time. Just make sure you don't do it in a mean-spirited way. It's about being consistent, not harsh. Consistency builds credibility, and credibility builds influence. Strategy number 4. Let natural consequences do the heavy lifting. Let's say your teen forgets to bring their homework to school. Again, do you rush to school to pass it to them? Or do you let them face the teacher empty-handed? I'm not saying you should never show grace to your teen. We all make mistakes sometimes, and we all need grace. But at the same time, natural consequences are powerful teachers. If your teen forgets their soccer jersey and has to sit out the game, they'll probably remember next time, without you needing to say a word. The key here is this. Resist rescuing your teen when the natural consequence is uncomfortable but safe. By safe, I mean that the natural consequence shouldn't put your teen in a situation where health and safety would be a big concern. When teens experience the real-world consequences of their actions, the life lessons stick. The more you let natural consequences run their course without telling your teens "I told you so," the less you'll need to nag, remind, and lecture. If you're finding this video helpful so far, please click the like button. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss out on future videos about helping teens to thrive. Strategy number 5. Use logical, not random consequences. Let's say your teenage son is rude to a teacher. You get a call from the school. It's clear that your son was in the wrong. So you decide to take away his phone for a week. What does he learn from this? He learns that you control his phone, nothing else. Now let's try a logical consequence instead. You say to your son, you'll need to meet with your teacher and apologize. Now the consequence is tied to the poor behavior, so your son is much more likely to learn something from the incident. Logical consequences are about treating your teen with respect, while also empowering them to take responsibility for their choices and behavior. Here's another example. If your teen breaks a sibling's phone during a fight, the logical consequence could be paying for part of the cost to replace it. This principle is grounded in Dr. Alfred Adler's recommended approach for logical consequences, which emphasizes that logical consequences should be respectful, related, and reasonable. These types of logical consequences that are clearly connected to the initial poor choice or behavior are far more effective in promoting long-term growth in your teen. Strategy number 6. Give choices within limits. Imagine saying this to your teen. You missed curfew by an hour without a valid reason. You can either be grounded this weekend or have a curfew that's 1 hour earlier for the next 2 weeks. You decide. With this approach, the situation becomes less of you versus your teen and more of your teen versus their own decision. Teens are more likely to accept the consequence when they feel some control over the outcome. This taps into what Dr. William Glasser called choice theory. This is the idea that people change their behavior more willingly when they have a sense of autonomy. You're still the parent and you're still setting limits, but you're giving your teen space to grow within those limits. It's a respectful way for you to basically say to your teen, you're responsible for your actions and you also get a say in how you make amends when you do something wrong. Strategy number 7. Get professional help if needed. If your teen is consistently angry, withdrawn, or self-destructive, it's probably something deeper than just bad behavior. Your teen might be struggling with anxiety, low self-esteem, depression, or a lack of purpose. Some studies have found that 30 to 40% of high school students report having had persistent feelings of sadness or hopelessness in the past year. And many of them don't know how to ask for help. Your teen will benefit from working with a professional, someone who can unpack what's really going on and get your teen back on track. Don't wait until things get worse. Early intervention makes a huge difference. If you might be interested in the one-on-one coaching program I offer for teens, check out the link in the description. Strategy number 8. Catch your teen doing things right. Here's something that's misunderstood. Effective positive reinforcement is not about bribing or manipulating your teen. It's about saying things like this. I notice you've been doing your homework without any reminders. Thank you for being responsible. I can see that you've been trying to be nicer to your brother recently. I appreciate you doing your part to keep the peace at home. When your teen hears these types of things from you, they feel seen and valued. And what gets acknowledged gets repeated. Neuroscience research shows that the brain releases dopamine in response to positive feedback. This helps to reinforce the behavior at a neurological level too. But here's the key. Focus your praise on character and on the process, not the end result. So instead of saying, you got an A on the test, good job, try saying, your hard work really paid off. It looks like you're becoming more disciplined. This type of praise builds identity. So your teen begins to see themselves as someone who's becoming more responsible, determined, kind, or capable. This is what will help your teen to grow and develop in the long run. Let me ask you, does your teen lack motivation sometimes? If so, I have a resource for you. It's this free ebook I've written entitled 16 Keys to Motivating Your Teenager. Visit daniel-wong.com/ebook to download the ebook today. The download link is also in the description. And here's this other video I've created about how to deal with a difficult teenager. In the video, I explain the 4 tips that every parent should use to get through to their teen. You'll find this video useful, so watch it next.